G'day folks, well, it's time for a little wall PC to get an upgrade. I've decided to put either a Core2 Duo or my old Athlon X2 5200 into it. I'm going to see if I can fit the Asus P5K in there and get that to boot up. Apparently there was an issue with the board, which is why it was shelved, but it was given to me for free anyway, so I'm going to give that a bit of a go. If that doesn't work again, like I did try it once before and it didn't work, if that doesn't work then we go for a maybe the one from the HP, which also has 4 RAM slots on it, DDR2, and I'll throw that in there instead with a 6800 Core2 Duo processor, which I think would probably be the best choice. I'm pretty sure that is either a 6800 or a 7400, and that's performing very well. So yeah, time for an upgrade. This thing is just way too slow and it's bugging out on so many video edits, it's not funny, so upgrade. Okay, so the old hardware I've done a fair bit of modding to, including the voltage and amperage meter on the CPU, but overall it's held up pretty good. It's a shame to have to take it apart, but it just doesn't cut it anymore. It's been about a month since I cleaned it. Of course, being out in the workshop, cleaning is just a monthly requirement. It's got the custom heatsink mount and everything on it. I could probably reuse this, given the little bars that I made. That should work on the current board, so I'll see how well the stock cooler works. If not, I'll use my custom LGA 775 mount that I made for this Zalman cooler, which was designed for an older style CPU, but since it's a nice big pure copper cooler, it was well worth using. A little Northbridge temperature monitor. That thing had hit 60 some days in here when I didn't have the air conditioning running. What was it at before? Yeah, it cooled down a little bit. I'm hoping I can get a full-size ATX board in here now that it doesn't have its little micro power supply. I've got this Antec one, but I'll probably end up replacing that with a Corsair GS700, I think, something like that. This thing's been doing pretty well considering these have a pretty bad reputation apparently, but the Cooler Master that I replaced this with, simply because it was bigger, that Cooler Master is only 12 months old and that's already failing. Like, it just shuts down at random on the old Athlon X2, so that one's definitely got to go. But yeah, I'll give this a bit of a tidy up and see if I can fit a full-size ATX board in here. I don't really see why not, because this power supply's out of here. If I can get full-size ATX in here, I'll be really happy. Okay, well, the full-size ATX was a bit too tight for comfort and I couldn't get the drive and everything in, so that's set aside. I probably could have modded it to work, but the problem is the board didn't boot up the last time I tried it and the time before that, so I'm going to give this HP one a go. It's pretty much a dead set drop in, apart from the fact that I had to chop the connector tab or locking tab off the ATX connector, so that one there I'm just going to sort of push down with the drive rack and that'll be fine. It doesn't need its locking tag for what this thing's doing. Most of the time they like, that's pretty much in there as it is. It ain't going anywhere. So the board is ever so slightly longer, but not a fitting issue whatsoever. Even the original fan loom just goes back where it was before. It's almost like this is a mirror image of the IBM board, but slightly better built, or at least newer anyway. This board was having some issues, or at least I don't think the board was, I think the PC was on boot up. Like, the old hard drive was just having big trouble. It was an old Vista system. Had Vista Home Edition on it, never got updated or anything like that, and we wanted it to run pronto. Not a very good idea. So anyway, that's all in there. Brand new 500 gig WD Blue series. Yeah, WD Blues. It's sort of the economy drive, 2-year warranty. One step up from green, that's about it. You can go black series, but I think the next one up from black is Velociraptor WD XE, which is even a 5-year warranty. But yeah, brand new drive, new operating system, everything going on it. I've got 4 gig of RAM in there. I'm only putting XP on at the moment. I'll upgrade the RAM when I get another copy of Windows 7 Professional. But I'm just working out front panel stuff, LEDs down to the fake card rack, and yeah, pretty good. Likewise, I'll probably cut the silicon off this fan and remove it and put a PCIe card in here. I've got a couple of these GeForce 210s which should do the job just nicely. Since I can't stuff one in that IBM, that is a special board and everything on it, fairly proprietary, I'll put one in that instead and give it a bit of a kickstart, at least for now. Otherwise I might case mod it and put a much more serious card in there, the 460 overclock, or sorry, yeah, 460 overclock NVIDIA or something like that if the board will handle it. Just sort of case mod it with a bulge sticking out the side, just cut and shut bits of an old CD-ROM case or something like that. Make it look really alien. Actually, I've got a big sheet of punched sheet metal. It's got 1/8 inch holes punched all over it, just perforated mesh. That'd work really well. Cut, shut, fold, paint, done. Case modding's fun. Alright, formatting new drive. Not too bad, 476 gig. Good old XP. I know a lot of people hate it, but I love it. Everything else is still running it. I notice the CPU amps are a lot lower and more stable at this point in time. Even voltage, 12 volts is completely stable at this point. Normally the needle, you can just see it fluctuating point something of a volt, but then we are only just sitting here idle, so give it a bit of time. I'll get these meters dancing under full load, but I doubt that the Core2 Duo will pull anywhere near the 8 amps that the Pentium D did, but who knows, it might, but I doubt it. Right now it's sitting at about 3. Yeah, 3.5 amps at the most, and solid, it's not fluctuating. Okay, I'm pretty much done. I'm not going to waste my time with the Panasonic Lumix software. Apparently it is bloatware. I knew that to begin with, it was a pain in the ass to work with, but now I've got VLC Media Player that actually comes up with the files on the SD card. So if I shove an SD card in one of these drives, I've got 2 now, that's out of the HP PC that donated the board. It's got a single flat, single row USB connector 2.0, whereas this one here was a double row, but it doesn't recognize it as USB 2.0 even though it is. So this one here should work. That's off the Casio, yeah. So that works, and you can open up the files as you wish. So that's pretty good. That's all in there. I'm just making shortcuts to the different readers because there's so many different drives. It comes up with 4 drives because there's 4 different slot types. D is the that one there, and I think J is that one there. So I just got to assign shortcuts with names and things on them, and that'll work. But before, how much is this? This is 548 meg, but just running this one here, it took about 12 minutes to copy 548 meg off a card, which is unacceptably slow. So I'm going to do a copy test off this one and see how it goes. It's an optical pickup, I think. So if I do that, no. I think it's a bit unhappy about being jammed in there. Probably a grounding issue. Looks like an infrared sensor or something. Yeah, it's just a bit unhappy about being stuffed inside there. It's not shorting out on anything, it's just stacked underneath the other one, which is sticky tape to the power supply. It's the best computer ever, built into the wall. You gotta love it. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll edit and upload this. First time encoding on this PC, hopefully it's fairly quick. If it's not, well, that board's coming out and I'm putting something else in there. I might even splash out a bit of cash in a month's time and buy a very basic i3, not normal ATX board, and just do a really basic office PC type build, like your $500 office PC, but without the extras. So essentially it'd just be like a $100 board, a processor, and a bit of RAM. So cheap enough. That's coming up eventually, but for now I'll stick with what I've got in the way of old hardware, which is sort of base model Core 2 Duo stuff. The Athlon X2 stacks up pretty much the same against the Core 2 that's in this computer now, but don't know. It might be worth swapping it over, but I think the board's a little bit bigger, and the way the layout is I might not be able to get it to work. Oh well.